Hey Stoic friend, welcome back to my channel. Life doesn't break you. You break yourself through the thoughts you entertain, the fears you feed, and the growth you avoid. That may sound harsh, but it's the most liberating truth you'll ever hear. Because if you're the one creating the chaos, you're also the one who holds the power to end it. The Stoics understood this with unshakable clarity. Marcus Aurelius didn't beg for peace. He built it in the battlefield of his own mind. Seneca didn't wish for ease. He trained for resilience. Epictetus didn't blame the world. He mastered himself. They didn't wait for circumstances to change. They became the change. They didn't crumble under pressure. They used it to rise. While others were distracted by noise, they chose silence and strength. While others chased comfort, they embraced voluntary hardship. While others lost themselves in emotions, they anchored themselves in principle. The result? Inner peace that couldn't be disturbed. A mindset forged in the fire of life. If you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of blaming others, tired of waking up anxious, tired of knowing deep down you could be more, then listen closely. This video is not comfort. It's a call to arms, a challenge to confront yourself with honesty, to stop outsourcing your power, to stop being a prisoner to your past and start becoming the architect of your future. No one is coming to save you, but you don't need saving. You need awakening, the kind of awakening that burns away weakness and rebuilds you in strength. This is your blueprint, your path to self-mastery. Not through motivation, but through mindset. Not through luck, but through discipline. These 10 Stoic strategies are not trends. They are ancient weapons for modern war. Use them, and you will rise, not in fantasy, but in power. You will no longer drift. You will decide. You will not react. You will respond. And above all, you will no longer wait for life to fix itself, because you will have learned to fix yourself. Let's begin. Number 1, take complete ownership. Epictetus said, "You may fetter my leg, but my will remains unfettered." These words hold the key to true freedom. In every moment of struggle, there's a choice, to take ownership or to give it away. The Stoic wisdom is simple, yet profound. The moment you blame others, you hand over your power. The moment you point fingers, you strip yourself of the strength to change. If you want to fix your life, you must begin by owning every part of it. Your habits, your thoughts, your decisions. This is the starting point for a complete transformation. The truth is harsh, but liberating. No one is coming to rescue you. The world won't bend to your will, but your mind can. And that's where your power lies. When you take responsibility, you gain control. But this doesn't mean blaming yourself for every setback. It means acknowledging that, in every situation, you have the ability to shape your response. The Stoic doesn't deny their failures or weaknesses. They embrace them, learn from them, and transform them into stepping stones. This is not about self-blame or shame. It's about reclaiming your sovereignty. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can control how you respond. You cannot undo the past, but you can learn from it. Responsibility is the root of all power. It is in accepting that everything in your life, from your success to your struggles, is yours to own, that you unlock your greatest potential. To become truly powerful, ask yourself daily, where am I giving away control? Find those places, whether it's through self-doubt, bad habits, or the stories you tell yourself about others, and take that control back. Reclaim the narrative of your life. Own it completely, and you will no longer be a passenger in your own journey. You will be the driver. This is how you begin to fix yourself, from the inside out. Number 2. Stop being a slave to emotion. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This truth is the very essence of Stoic mastery, the realization that we are not defined by what happens to us, but by how we respond. In a world ruled by impulsive reactions, the Stoic rises above. Emotions are a natural part of being human, but they are not our masters. They are signals, not commands. Most of us let our emotions guide us like an uncontrollable tide. Anger rises, and we lash out. Fear takes hold, and we hide. Sadness consumes us, and we withdraw. But what if we stopped letting emotions drive the ship? What if, instead, we saw them for what they are? Moments that arise, then pass, like clouds in the sky. The Stoic sees emotion as a messenger, not a ruler. Anger signals that something isn't right. Fear alerts us to potential danger. But neither emotion must dictate our actions. The Stoic response is not to ignore or suppress these feelings, but to acknowledge them and rise above them with clarity. When we train our minds to respond rather than react, we stop becoming slaves to our impulses. We stop being at the mercy of how we feel in any given moment. Instead, we act from a place of purpose, grounded in principle. Every time you feel anger or fear rising, pause, breathe, recognize it, and then choose your response. Will you react with impulsiveness, or will you act with wisdom? The choice is yours. This daily practice of emotional discipline doesn't just make you steady in moments of crisis. It reshapes your entire life. You become unshaken by life's storms, unbothered by the chaos around you. When you stop being a slave to emotion, you realize that you are free. You are no longer bound by the ever-changing tides of your feelings. Instead, you become the calm in the storm, the stillness in the noise. True strength lies in the ability to act with grace, regardless of what emotions may arise. And that is the Stoic way. The way of living with purpose, not reaction. When you master this, you reclaim your inner power, and nothing can ever take it away. Number 3. Build a code of principles. Seneca said, "No man can live a happy life, or even a bearable life, without the pursuit of wisdom." This pursuit is not just intellectual, it is practical and transformative. The Stoic understands that without a guiding framework, life becomes a series of empty reactions, drifting from moment to moment, conforming to the whims of circumstance. But when you build a code of principles, you stop drifting. You become anchored, grounded in your beliefs and actions, no matter what the world throws at you. Without a code, you are like a ship without a rudder, tossed by the tides of emotion, circumstance, and external pressures. The Stoic, however, knows exactly where they're going. They live with purpose. They have a set of values they will not betray, no matter how tempting the alternative. These principles are their compass, guiding them through the stormy seas of life. What are your values? What do you stand for? Is it honor, integrity, courage, discipline? Whatever your principles may be, they must be the foundation upon which every action is built. A Stoic doesn't just talk about values, they embody them. They practice them, especially when it's inconvenient. Because real strength lies not in choosing what's easy, but in choosing what's right. When you have a clear code of principles, you can't be swayed by fleeting emotions or external approval. You know what you stand for. You are steady, unwavering in your commitment to your values. In every decision, you ask yourself, is this aligned with my principles? When you build a life on a solid foundation of values, you become unshakable, grounded in something far more enduring than the chaos around you. The common man is guided by external circumstances, always swayed by what's popular or easy. The Stoic, however, walks a different path. They let their code lead them, not the world's noise. And in doing so, they forge a life of clarity, purpose, and unyielding strength. They are not a product of circumstance, but of choice. And this is the power of a life guided by principles. You become the master of your own destiny. Number 4. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Seneca wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, with the scantiest and cheapest fare, saying to yourself, 'Is this what I feared?'" In those words, Seneca unlocks the key to a life of strength and resilience. The modern world surrounds us with comforts, soft beds, warm meals, instant gratification. But in this ease, we find our greatest weakness. The Stoic understands that true strength is forged through discomfort, not in the comfort of idle luxury. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It lulls us into a false sense of security, dulls our senses, and breeds complacency. But the Stoic trains in hardship, not to endure pain for pain's sake, but to prepare for life's inevitable struggles. They willingly subject themselves to discomfort, knowing it will make them unbreakable when real hardship comes. Think about it. Fasting, training in cold, sleeping on the floor, walking instead of driving. These may seem like small, insignificant actions, but each one is a test, a challenge, a deliberate exercise in control and mental fortitude. They remind you that you are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You can endure, and not only endure, but thrive. Voluntary discomfort is the antidote to fear and helplessness. It proves that you can handle whatever life throws at you. It builds courage by showing you that you can endure hardship and still emerge stronger. It cultivates gratitude by reminding you of the luxuries you often take for granted. And, perhaps most importantly, it shifts your perspective. When you embrace discomfort, you understand that true power lies not in seeking ease, but in mastering adversity. In moments of real difficulty, when life's storms batter against you, you will stand firm. You will not be the person who crumbles at the first sign of trouble, because you've already trained for this. You've walked through the fire and come out stronger. Voluntary discomfort is the Stoic's weapon against weakness. It's the reminder that we are not victims of our circumstances. We are the architects of our own strength. And when you embrace it, you awaken a power within yourself that no external force can ever take away. Number 5. Practice negative visualization. Seneca said, "He robs present ills of their power, who has perceived their coming beforehand." This powerful insight from Seneca reveals one of the most profound techniques a Stoic can employ: the practice of negative visualization. At first glance, this may seem counterintuitive. Why should we focus on the worst that could happen? Why should we entertain thoughts of failure, loss, or pain? But the answer lies in the incredible power of preparation. This practice isn't about wallowing in pessimism or surrendering to fear. It's not about imagining disaster for the sake of feeling anxious. It's about strengthening your mind and spirit by rehearsing challenges before they arrive. Think of it as mental armor, something that protects you from the shock of adversity. By visualizing failure or misfortune, you remove their power over you. When you imagine worst-case scenarios, losing your job, experiencing heartbreak, facing a personal setback, you're not inviting them into your life. You're preparing yourself to face them with clarity and courage. The Stoic knows that life is unpredictable and misfortune is inevitable. But by confronting it in your mind, you make it less terrifying when it arrives in the real world. This technique works because it aligns your expectations with reality. You won't be blindsided by hardship. You won't waste energy asking, "Why me?" Instead, you'll face adversity with a steady heart and a focused mind, because you've already seen it coming. You've already anticipated its arrival and considered how you will respond. Negative visualization teaches you resilience. It trains you to remain calm and composed, even in the most challenging of circumstances. The more you practice it, the less power misfortune has over you. You won't be swept away by the storm because, in your mind, you've already weathered it. It also fosters gratitude. When you imagine the worst, you begin to appreciate the good, the small comforts, the simple joys, things you might otherwise take for granted. Negative visualization sharpens your focus on what truly matters, and it reminds you of how much you have to be thankful for in the present moment. Ultimately, it's about control. The Stoic understands that while we cannot control the events that occur in our lives, we can control how we prepare for them. And by mentally rehearsing life's challenges, we equip ourselves to handle them with poise and wisdom. Misfortune loses its power because, in the end, we're ready for it. Number 6, kill excuses with action. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't go on discussing what a good man should be. Just be one." In life, excuses are the voice of hesitation. They are the silent barriers that prevent progress, the reasons we give ourselves to avoid taking responsibility. The Stoic, however, does not indulge in excuses. They are too busy acting. They don't talk about what they should do. They do it. They understand that the path to change is paved not by words, but by consistent, deliberate action. Excuses come in many forms. "I'm too tired. It's not the right time. I'll do it tomorrow." But the Stoic sees through them all. They know that no matter how tired, scared, or uncertain they may feel, the key to growth is to move forward anyway. Action is the antidote to stagnation. When you act, you take control. When you act, you move closer to your goal. The Stoic knows that waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion. That moment doesn't exist. The time to act is now. You may not have all the answers. You may not feel ready. But the Stoic trusts in the power of doing. They know that by taking action, clarity follows. Motion creates momentum. The first step often reveals the next and the next. This is how discipline is forged. Discipline isn't about feeling motivated or inspired every day. It's about showing up, no matter the circumstances. The Stoic doesn't wait for motivation to come. They create it by taking action, even when it feels difficult. When you stop making excuses and begin acting, something powerful happens. Confidence builds. You see your progress. You witness your own strength. You prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming obstacles, and each action you take strengthens your resolve, creating a cycle of self-empowerment. Remember, life doesn't change by thinking or wishing. It changes by doing. So, kill the excuses. Act. Even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. The power to transform your life lies in your ability to take consistent action, no matter the obstacles in your way. Number 7, simplify your life. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In today's world, we are bombarded with distractions, obligations, and endless desires. The more we accumulate, whether it's possessions, responsibilities, or aspirations, the more our peace slips away. But the Stoic knows that true freedom lies in simplicity. Complexity is the enemy of clarity. It's easy to become overwhelmed when your life is filled with things that don't truly serve you. The clutter, both physical and mental, consumes your energy and attention, leaving you tired and unfulfilled. The Stoics' antidote to this chaos: simplify. Take a step back and evaluate your life. How many of your desires are truly essential? How many obligations are you carrying simply because you haven't learned to say no? When you let go of unnecessary wants and distractions, you make room for what truly matters: purpose, growth, relationships, and peace of mind. Simplicity isn't about deprivation, it's about clarity. When you focus on what's important, your mind becomes sharper, your decisions become clearer, and your actions become more deliberate. You stop chasing every fleeting desire and instead invest in what aligns with your core values. The Stoic understands that true wealth doesn't come from accumulating more, but from desiring less. When your wants are few, your peace is unshakable. You become more resilient because you're not dependent on external things for your happiness. To simplify your life, begin by eliminating distractions. Clear out physical clutter. Let go of obligations that drain your energy without bringing value. Remove excess from your daily routine. In the space that's left, cultivate a life centered on purpose and discipline. Simplicity creates space for clarity. Clarity creates power, and in that power, you'll find peace. Number 8. Begin each day with purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I am rising to do the work of a human being.'" How you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Yet, too many of us wake up to the noise, our phones buzzing with notifications, the rush of thoughts and responsibilities flooding in. We jump out of bed in a state of chaos, reacting to the world rather than responding to our own purpose. The Stoic, however, knows that a well-lived life begins with intentionality. They wake up not to rush through another day, but to rise with clarity and purpose. Stillness is their first priority. Before they allow the world's demands to dictate their actions, they ground themselves in their own thoughts. A morning routine rooted in purpose allows you to set the foundation for a day of calm focus and meaningful action. Whether it's through quiet reflection, gratitude, or a brief moment of mindfulness, the Stoic starts each day centered and aligned with their values. By grounding yourself first, you prepare to face the day with resilience, calm, and direction. Your morning is your chance to take control, not just of the day, but of your mind. You decide how you will show up. You decide what matters most. By choosing to begin with purpose, you clear away the distractions and step into the world with the clarity of someone who knows exactly what they're about. So, when you wake up tomorrow, resist the temptation to immediately check your phone or allow your mind to spiral. Instead, take a deep breath, set your intention, and remind yourself, "Today, I rise to do the work of a human being." By starting your day with purpose, you'll find that the rest of your day follows with focus and intention. You'll move through challenges with grace because you've already aligned your mind and heart. When your day starts with purpose, your life will follow suit. Number 9. Let go of what you can't control. Epictetus taught, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." One of the greatest sources of suffering is our attachment to things beyond our control. We get frustrated with the weather, the traffic, or the actions of others. We dwell on the past and worry about the future. But the truth is, we can only control one thing: ourselves. The Stoic understands this simple yet powerful truth. They don't waste energy on what they cannot change. They don't try to manipulate the universe or force outcomes. Instead, they invest their energy where it counts, on their thoughts, their actions, and their attitude. There is immense freedom in this. The moment you stop trying to control everything outside of you, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and frustration. By focusing only on what you can control, you gain mastery over your own experience. You stop reacting to life's unpredictability and start responding with wisdom, clarity, and calm. This is not a call for apathy or passivity. Letting go of control is a choice grounded in wisdom. It's about accepting that life is full of unknowns, and instead of fighting those uncertainties, you make peace with them. You choose where to place your attention and your effort. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you release the weight of unnecessary burdens. You become empowered by what you can influence and let go of the rest. This brings peace of mind and a sense of clarity that will transform your experience of the world. So ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I cannot control? And then let it go. Let it go, not out of defeat, but as a strategic decision to invest your energy wisely. Letting go is not weakness, it's the ultimate act of strength and wisdom. Number 10. Remember your mortality. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Memento mori. Remember death. This isn't about dwelling in fear, but rather about using the awareness of death as a powerful tool to live more fully. The Stoic understood that life is fleeting. Time is our most precious resource, and once it's gone forever. The clock is ticking. Every moment that passes is a moment you will never get back. Remembering your mortality isn't meant to bring sadness, but to bring urgency, to remind you that you have a finite amount of time to make an impact, to live a life of purpose. This realization should not paralyze you in fear, but empower you to act. It calls you to focus on what truly matters: your relationships, your work, your values, and your growth. It urges you to speak the truth, to be kind, to take bold actions, and to live without regret. Let death be your final mirror. Look into it. What does it reflect about your life? Are you spending your time on things that truly matter? Are you acting with the clarity and intention that your limited time demands? Death isn't an end, but a constant reminder of how precious your life is. And by acknowledging it, you take back control over how you live each day. You stop wasting time on trivialities and instead focus on what's essential. So ask yourself, if today were your last day, would you be proud of how you've lived? Let the awareness of your mortality ignite a fire within you to live with purpose, to make every moment count, and to leave a legacy of strength, wisdom, and kindness. Fixing your life isn't a one-time act. It's a daily discipline, a lifelong practice. These 10 Stoic habits aren't just philosophies, they are blueprints for transformation. Take ownership of your thoughts and actions. Master your emotions. Live by your principles, even when it's difficult. Embrace discomfort, for it's where growth happens. Visualize the challenges ahead, so when they arrive, you're not caught off guard. Take action, no matter the doubts. Simplify your life and focus on what truly matters. Start each day with purpose. Focus on what you can control. And always remember that life is short. Your time is precious. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be committed to progress. If this guide sparked something inside of you, subscribe, like, share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the path is hard, but so are you. Live stoic, live strong, and no matter what happens, never break.